A great deal has been written about false convictions in America. The good news is the advent of DNA to positively pinpoint details in police investigations. It has allowed law enforcement to enter a new era, scientifically identifying those tied to crime scenes and at the same time eliminating those who are not. That is, unless you happen to live in Lane County, Oregon. Terrence Kimble was tried and convicted of sex abuse against a child 10 years ago. The girl was 13 years old at the time of the alleged offense. Former Oregon Corrections Officer William Coleman has waged his own battle against the Oregon Department of Corrections over corruption and racism.
Inmate Kimble's in prison on false accusation, criminal charges that were brought against him that's false, 1,000% false. And we have the documents to prove that. And he should be released anytime soon. I'm pushing for that.
The smoking gun in this case is one that many would consider indisputable. A report from the Oregon State Police Forensic Laboratory clearly stating that there is not a DNA match between the suspect and the victim. The prosecutor in the case, Robert Lane, tried very hard to convict Kimble of first-degree rape. The judge clearly states on the record that he probably would have found Kimble guilty of the more serious crime. Again, first-degree rape.
That's very outrageous. It's going to show you what's going on in the state of Oregon, what's been going on for years. And the Justice Department is allowing this to happen. You know, these things need to be reviewed, not just by the court system, but by the governor, by people that's in power, that have the power to make these rulings when someone is completely 1,000% innocent.
And how long has he been incarcerated?
He's been incarcerated around 10 years now, about 10 years, for a crime that he did not commit.
Kimble was convicted in Eugene, Oregon, in a Lane County courtroom where verdicts against African Americans sometimes leave many questions. We covered the case of Daryl Sky Walker, an African American student convicted in the death of a Portland judge's son who died as a result of a fist fight. Key witnesses said a white man named J.D. Beal threw the final punch, but Daryl Sky Walker was convicted. Coleman says Terrence Kimble is an innocent man. And you always, when you worked at the prison still and you dealt with him, you kind of had a feeling about this guy, didn't you, that he might not be guilty?
I felt that he wasn't guilty for the crime that they claimed that happened. I didn't see that in him by just observing him. I didn't see that. But come to find out now that this guy's 1,000% innocent, man, it's crazy. It's, you know, just unbelievable that the system would stoop so low to bring this man down. Oh, well, they brought me down the same way, so it's nothing surprising.
The story is still coming together. It seems clear that the girl did make an initial accusation of rape against Kimble, and the accusation allegedly involved a knife and torn panties. But no torn panties were produced at the trial, and the medical report stated that the girl had not engaged in any sexual activity.
So the rebellious child decided she wanted him out of his life because she can't do what she want to do because he's the man of the house and he's saying, no, you stay home or you can't go nowhere. So she got with her friends and they collaborated this bogus allegations about Kimble, and the state bought the whole situation.
Even though the young lady bringing the case after she had been talked to for just a little bit by the doctors said that there had been basically no act.
She said it had been no sexual contact over and over and over, but the state say, oh yes it has. But documents prove nothing happened.
I'm going to put on the screen some of this paperwork. Now what we're seeing here is that the victim was not victimized. I mean, that's essentially what we see here. The doctor said this young lady basically had not had any kind of sexual contact at all.
Absolutely. That's absolutely true. I mean, this woman, this young lady, never admitted that she was sexually assaulted by Inmate Kimble.
The doctor who examined the victim, 13-year-old Danielle McDaniel, said that there had been no sexual activity. In fact, he stated the girl had never had sex. William Coleman is a survivor. He reported racism as a whistleblower in the Oregon State prison system as a guard and discovered huge levels of corruption. You were charged with 15 counts about smuggling cigarettes, and this is the gentleman that went in and to talk to me about a couple of the things that he revealed during that court case.
Well, in that court case, Inmate Kimble, he let the world know, he let the jury know that the state police and other state officials was pushing briberies out, trying to get the inmates to buy, not buy, but give them TVs and give them things for pleasure to lie on me. He let the court know that. He let the court know that they was trying to get him to lie on me about other drugs that was brought in the institution. He let the jury, he let the court know that their goal was to destroy me with lies and slander, and that's just what he did.
And the outcome of that trial was a unanimous not guilty verdict on all counts for you.
Yes, and thanks to Kimble's testimony, I believe it did help. He helped show the corruption on a high level, from state police, from state officials, the IA, and all of them that collaborated their ideas together to try to destroy me, only because I blew the whistle on hate crimes, corruption in the prison system. And that was their retaliation, to destroy me, to discredit me, and they did that.
It was the DNA evidence combined with testimony from the 13-year-old girl's family who testified on behalf of Kimble that convinced Coleman.
It's unbelievable. When I first started reading about Kimble's innocence, it blew me away because of the injustice that's in the system today. From my experience that I experienced, and just to see that inmate Kimble experiencing the same situation. So I just think that it's time to get Mr. Kimble out of this prison system.
Coleman believes Kimble is likely the reason he didn't get tossed in prison for many years on trumped-up charges.
Yes, Kimble was my only witness. Kimble was my only witness that spoke the truth about the corruption that went on in the prison system.
In the end, the entire case does not contain testimony from the victim. We know that she told relatives and her doctor that she was not raped, but still police moved the case forward.
That's absolutely true. I mean, this woman, this young lady, never admitted that she was sexually assaulted by inmate Kimble.
The problems and inconsistencies Coleman observed in the Oregon State Prison, he believes, are widespread and varied. Kimble's case is a priority now. Interestingly, even though Kimble was ultimately not convicted of raping the girl, instead convicted of sex abuse, he was sent to prison for 19 years. 19 years. His attorney at the time, James Rice, who today is an attorney with the city of Portland, Oregon, says sentences of that length are typically reserved for cases involving egregious circumstances, and many people have served far less time for taking another human life.
I think the governor gonna have to step in and get Kimble out of this prison system, because the fact is he's 1,000% innocent, and they all know that. And the thing is that who have the integrity to get this man out of prison?
Besides you.
Yeah, besides myself. I'm going to do what I got to do to see this man get his justice.
In Salem, I'm Tim King reporting for SalemNews.com.